Okay, let's get to installing the T-bar method. If this is your first time doing the T-bar method, I recommend taking one of the small sections and doing a first one about here so you can see it in the mirror and learning how to install it visually and see it yourself, because it does take a little bit more time than it does clip-ins, but you're going to be saving yourself so much time and money because they're more permanent, that it's worth the patience of learning how to do it. So we're going to take this first big track, the main track. We're going to do a nice straight line around your crown, where you want to leave it at least an inch above your earlobe so the tracks don't lay on your ear. And we're going to place it below the line right there. And that's what these clips are for. Originally, there was a band in the previous videos. Okay, if I'm doing this install on myself, I always like to use my fingers. And the loopers show you where you're going to pull the hair through, like this. But when I do it on somebody else, it's much easier to use a tail comb. I've had husbands and boyfriends do these few back ones, which are the hardest, and I always like to start from the back and grab right where the looper is pulling. Then I'm going to hold the bead tight so it doesn't pull down and thread the hair through. Always make sure you save your loopers because that's going to allow you to reuse it. Pull up and tighten to the scalp. If you notice, it's nice and flat. There. Okay, so my hands get in the way. When I'm doing it on somebody else, I like to do the tail comb because it's really easy. So I'm just going through the looper and grabbing that. Then I'm going to hold the bead as I pull the looper down. So sorry, my fingers kind of cover that up, but that's all I'm doing is so when I'm pulling, it doesn't pull the whole weft down. And then I'm going to take the pliers, slide up, and crimp across. Now I like to work on both sides to make it nice and tight. I'm just grabbing this hair through. And just remember to check your loopers are in front of your T-bar so they don't get stuck, like I showed you in the troubleshooting. So I'm just going to work back and forth from each side. And as the beads sit on top of the weft, like I've said before, it makes it really nice because it creates a hinge of the weft, allowing you to put your hair up in a ponytail and not have to worry about any of the bulkiness. And I'm just going side to side. So just making sure that the beads are crimped nice and flat. Slide them up to your scalp because as your hair grows, they're going to come down. Okay, that's not very tight. Right here. That's clipped right there. Mannequin's hair. And I'm just going to pull that down and crimp it. Again, I have been installing these on myself for 4 years, the T-bar method when I first created it. And I can install them in under 15 minutes. I understand it's going to take a little bit learning. But if you want hair extensions and you don't want to have to take them out every day and every night, the T-bar is a great method for you. And then, as you can see, when I take these clips off for the front ones, they're all holding their own weight because they're only about an inch apart from each other. And then these ones, you just want to make sure you get enough hair since these are the end ones that are going to get the most pulling when you're blow drying and brushing your hair. So make sure you get a good amount. And these are the ones that might loosen a little bit more, and that's why it's so nice to have the pliers with you so you don't have to go to like a hairdresser just to have her retighten one or two of them. Same on this side. And always just make sure that you keep your loopers. Never cut them.